Thank you. The random rare card is usually always a pass for me. 3 random potions I also don't really like, but there's a hidden feature here that is not obvious at all. The 3 random potions option will give you 3 random potions, but the game also secretly generates a card reward screen here because you get that little pop-up in the middle with the potions on it, but that counts as a 100 bits. Thank you very much. Team Blue coming out with 100 bits. All right, the scales have this is like the dueling pianos. The scales have tipped. Okay. Thank you very much. Anyway, 3 random potions generates a card reward screen that you don't see, increasing your rare card percent. So going here gives you a chance to get a rare card on floor 1 that you wouldn't otherwise have. So a little hidden feature there. I don't think that's a reason to take it or not, but it's just kind of fun to keep in mind. 6 max HP for 250 gold is kind of a no-brainer for me. We've got a shop on floor 2 that puts us at a rare relic range amongst many other things for this early shop, and we have a potential for a late second shop if we want to go there, and this one ends up being kind of a dud. 6 max HP right now for the same reason that you always take the Golden Idol. Well, kind of. A Golden Idol protects you from further events, but it doesn't actually cost you anything, so we don't trade away anything. And the Silent already has a hard time with campfires and getting value from campfires. So the fact that we maybe lose a little bit on rests and things like that, not that big of a deal. We get so much. This is a huge tempo play for us as we go throughout the act. Boss relic swaps I don't love on the Silent. I think that this is one of the better starting relics in the game, right next to Burning Blood. Incredibly important for the Silent. It allows you to take things like Backstab and any number of other innate cards, making like your After Image or whatever else innate without it feeling like it's almost punishing in a sense. Really, really like having Ring of the Snake around. I don't like the fact that we get to see Ring of the Serpent, but we'll deal with that later. Actually, anyway, we're doing 6 max HP for 250 Spire bucks to 349 already. We'll go into a Jaw Worm. Things you hate to see. Now, important to note, the Silent already struggles against the Jawworm, and we effectively took no bonus on floor 0. So if we take a fair amount of damage here, I wouldn't be too surprised, or if we have a really hard time just killing the Jawworm outright, I also wouldn't be too surprised. Because we took no bonus, we got nothing in return, in a sense, for our max HP. We're kind of seeing that come true here. All right, we say ouch. A colorless potion for our troubles and some stinky cards we don't really want to see on floor 1, but we are going into a shop here. So we can think about fights coming up. Sentries, Lagavulin, Gremlin Knob. I think Piercing Whale is pretty good going into the Slime Boss after splits. And also one of the better block cards that the Silent has in the package. Just in general, enemies losing 6 strength is so important. Pair is okay with some weak, and then also importantly, the Silent's base block cards typically rotate around 5. So you'll think of dodge and roll, backflip. We see Cloak and Dagger in front of us. They're all in that 4, 5, 6 range. There's not a big, nice, chunky block card. You don't get your Shrug It Off. You know, you don't get something like that. You don't get your auto shields. That doesn't exist in the Silent's block package. And even like Sweep, debatably, the block per energy ratio is about the same as this, because you can see things like footwork, making Piercing Whale an incredibly important part of the block package for the Silent. I don't think it's great going into the elites that we're going to see, but we'll try to roll with it. I think it was either that or maybe a skip. This is excellent. This is excellent. I think another no-brainer in my opinion. This Preserved Insect being one of the highest damage relics in the game. We're just going to go ahead and click that. And I'm kind of torn about this Bag of Marbles. think we just take it. Bag of Marbles, again, if we see this backstab that I was talking about, gets so much better. It's also Artifact Strip, which is important as we're going into the later phases of the game, thinking all the way ahead to the Act 4 Elites, Donu and Deka. Those fights, or even Bronze Automaton, those fights revolve around the Silence ability to remove Artifact and apply Weak, or Poison, or whatever. Let's do that. Man, I am amped up tonight. Feeling good. Pretty good day today. All right, easy fight. Took 1 damage, unfortunately. Get a Skewer to go with our Bag of Marbles, Preserved Insect. If we can make that, say, plus, and then go into the Slime Boss fight, we're going to be really happy. Yeah, we'll take a Skewer. And then I think we actually don't want to go that way. We want to take a third combat. So in Act 1, our third combat is from the easy pool of fights. If we were to go this way and actually see 2 events and then go into here, this is basically all that we'd have going into the fight as a Skewer. So we're going to take another combat. Already tell that our attack density is a bit low. Got him. I think this is an easy Flying Knee. Flying Knee pairs exceptionally well with this Skewer, and it's just kind of a nice little early common attack card. Silent really needs. I really love that, but I don't want to lose a bunch of resources we're maybe going here, though I'd really want to go here because we have Preserved Insect and we're in Act 1. The Strength, HP, Metallicize, all of those buffs that go into the Empowered Elites scale into the different acts, so they increase as you go along. Act 1, debatably, is the easiest time. I mean, it depends. There's a lot of variables, but in theory, it's the easiest time to take out an Empowered Elite. The small knob. Skewer does not kill. What kind of a scientist am I? I am a biologist. Unfortunately, I can't be more specific than this for hopefully obvious reasons. So Skewer doesn't kill. We can Flying Knee Skewer, but that's not really necessary. I'm trying to think if there's a way that we can not take all of this damage that doesn't include our Colorless Potion. I don't think there's a way. Still waiting for that turn 1 Skewer with our Bag of Marbles. Kunai is here. Kunai's fantastic. Corpse Explosion is also here. Yes, thank you. I do really want to go this way. I'm trying to make sure that we can continue to do that. And heal for 18, I think that pretty much guarantees it, but I don't want to fall too far behind on our upgrades. Really good upgrades being Flying Knee and Corpse Explosion at this point. Flying Knee because it goes to 11 and we have Bag of Marbles. Yeah, Act 1 Burning Elite, I mean, if you can, if the Burning Elite happens to spawn like down here in your initial row of elites or whatever, then I think it's usually out of the question and a trap unless things have gone exceptionally well for you in terms of card rewards and potions. I'm gonna roll the dice on that one. Oh, things you love to see. .jpg. Do we ever kill by next turn? No, right? No. So if we don't kill by next turn, then Blind is our best block card here. Even though Good Instincts is technically one more block this turn, this is going to put the Lagavulin attack to 15. If we can't kill by next turn, then we need to block next turn too, making Blind the better block card. We could also take Secret Technique there, pull out Survivor, and then that forces the shuffle next turn, so we'd be drawing, 4 cards and then shuffling. That would be really important if we did not want to see these cards here on the following few turns, but kind of a niche use case. Try to save the 2 HP there. Got him. Another great fight. Get Strawberry for 7 max and current HP. Deflect says plus item. We have to be a little bit careful. We are going to be locked into the plus trap for the remainder of the run. All these skills, all these amazing silent skills are going to say plus on them, and I'm going to want them all. I don't know how to officially submit to the random pog, but I did put my dang O thing on there. Or Dan, what's my... Mine isn't dang, mine's my Ferd O. I put this on Twitter. So if the way to submit was to just post a picture on their Twitter describing what they were doing, then I kind of did. Predator with this bag of marbles and going into Slime Boss is important. We need some kind of extra card draw in here to deal with Slime Boss. Predator is definitely that thing. If we're ever stuck on 3 energy, though, Deflect Plus is amazing. Yes, I will heal 22 HP. All right, never mind. We're not going to that shop. This is amazing. This is not. I think that's our best defensive play there. Lex Potion is here, as well as a Noxious Fumes. I love a Noxious Fumes. It's going to pair so well with this Toxic Egg eventually. And if we can make it say plus before Slime Boss, it's one of my more favorite ways to deal with Slime Boss. I'm feeling good. This is the one. Good fight. The Blood Vial for some HP per combat. And there's the backstab we were talking about with this bag of marbles. Pairs really well with our kunai too. Yeah, that's a great pickup. It's not too late. Okay. Going well. Prepared Plus is kind of fun. Yeah, so that's another reason. Remember, we were talking in the early shop about Artifact Strip. Artifact Strip allowed us to get rid of the artifact on the sentries and then apply the poison effect from Corpse Explosion. The downstream effects of this bag of marbles is pretty amazing. Again, we have to be wary of the Toxic Egg plus card trap. On Ascension 20, we don't get to see these cards that say plus here as much as we'd like. So the fact that we're playing the Silent, which is a skill-based class, to begin with, and all these skills are going to say plus. It's tempting. This card draw and discard is pseudo card remove, and since we have all of our base strikes still in here, I really like it. Concentrate Plus would be cute if we had some extra card draw in here other than Predator. Thinking like Acrobatics in particular to pair with the Skewer. We're going to do Prepared Plus. This is tempting too with our bag of marbles, but stick to the plan. And yeah, sorry, I'm kind of flying through these early combats, but to me, they've all been pretty easy. All right. Yeah, the fact that Blade Dance is going to say plus on it too with our Toxic Egg, it's going to be irresistible with Kunai. I hope we see some. Now, let me consider real quick. 16, 32, 41, 50 damage exactly. This is a decent candidate for our Flex Potion turn 1. And then if we happen to draw our Skewer next turn with this Flying Knee, I'm going to be feeling really good about it. Not certain that we need to use this Flex Potion this combat, though. That's kind of the sticking point. So if we could hang on to Flex Potion for next act, if we run into the 2 city muggers on the first floor of Act 2, then we're going to really wish we had this Flex Potion. Let's just use it. We might get a potion here as well. Got to make sure we don't do too much damage to this. Yeah, this would be too much. I'm good with that. So we have 21, 24 damage. We'd split at 62. Not great. But we can't Predator here without splitting. But we get another Kunai proc here, which could be important. Skewer's going to bring this to 56. So we could strike neutralize. Pass? So we're, of course, going to use Skewer here. We go for the Acid Slime first. Because we have this Dexterity scaling, the Frail matters a little bit less. The Weak is going to be pretty bad for next turn. And we could prepare here to draw through Defend Strike. We're going to be hit for a lot next turn. That looks like a lot. So the minty quality of life Spire mod does the math for you. I mean, this is easy math, but every once in a while you fight like 3 or 4 enemies and you don't want to do all the math. The number should be calculated up here for you guys if you want to just see a quick, at a glance, view of where we're at. All right. I don't love it. I don't love it. little hairy. The weak wore off. This is going to do 28 to all. Got him. Take a bit of damage. Get a liquid memories for our trouble, and look at the plus cards. Look at the plus cards. Alchemize is amazing. It is the silence meta scaling card. So we're looking at things like speed, lesson learned, and genetic algorithm. Alchemize is the silence equivalent to that package. Kind of keep these things in mind as you're evaluating cards on what you need. If you think on the kind of bigger scale at what works with other classes can sometimes apply to these other ones. But of course we have to focus on the run in front of us. Of course, Wraith form is, I mean, it's just a win condition. I don't think we can actually just pass on Wraith form when we see it. Even though we have the kunai scaling and this might just be a waste, I think that Wraith form is just too good. If we're really going for a win here, I think Wraith form is correct. I would take an Alchemize probably second, even over Phantasmal Killer. Mainly because we don't have good card draw on here for Phantasmal Killer. We did pick up the Prepared, but, you know, Phantasmal Killer is Wrath form minus, because you don't know what cards you're going to be drawing next turn most of the time. Alchemize might enable us to take a Sacred Bark, so we can also look at this card reward screen, as our Act 1 boss relic is one of the most important ones, since Act 2 scales up so quickly. If we don't have, say, a Tools of the Trade or maybe an Alchemize, we turn off a Hovering Kite and Sacred Bark if we want to take them. So we can think on those terms too, but that said, I mean, Wraith form is just too good. It's just too good. We have to take it. Is almost obligated. Obligatory? Compulsory? Man. Alright, some interesting options. We get a Runic Doom, a Philosopher's Stone, and an Ectoplasm. Immediate third place is Ectoplasm. We really don't want to be doing that. I think Philosopher's Stone could work here with our Kunai and Wraith form. Doesn't really matter how much damage the enemies are doing if we just can't take damage. But Runic Doom is... it's probably the way. I don't personally like playing with Runic Doom very much, and I don't like streaming with Runic Doom, but it's very good. What you're really looking for when you're thinking about taking a Runic Doom is, does it matter what the enemy is doing, or am I just doing my own thing anyway? And we're close to the doing my own thing anyway phase with Wraith form in here, and our turn 1s being so amazing. We have Piercing Wail in here. Piercing Wail is also great with Runic Doom because it's such a good block card. Let's just do Runic Doom and move on. Alright, new prediction. We are doing Act 2. Just 1 minute to vote this time. So get them in quick if you're going to play along. Alright, sorry, my tea is almost perfect temperature, so I need to do a little bit of multitasking here. We do have a 3 elite path. Apparitions with Toxic Egg is just phenomenally good. Also phenomenally good with a Wraith form in here. We have Corpse Explosion for a, say, Tri-Slavers fight. We have Preserved Insect. I should actually take a quick look at some of these relics for you guys. Preserved Insect already removed 92 HP. Amazing. Blood Vial has only healed 4, so not a lot to look at, I guess, but Preserved Insect in particular we'll keep an eye on. because it is, I'm telling you, it's one of the best damage relics in the game. Exactly close. Sometimes it's close. We have a lot of money. We are bottlenecked into a shop if we go this way. I really want to take out this elite, but we'll have a lot of money. If anything, if we can just remove 2 strikes at this point in the run, that would make me exceptionally happy. Do this. So we want to do 3 more attacks here. That's probably strike. Maybe it's triple skewer. We do triple skewer here. We can defend and then neutralize one of the other birds, trying to block as much as possible. And then we get a dexterity proc for kunai too. But it comes in too late. Good. Fine. Turn is slightly scary, but too bad. Alright, I don't think we have a kill here, right? It's going to do 9, and then we do 6, so 15, 18 only. Could be a lot of damage incoming. But they both just did the multi-attacks, so they could be both doing big attacks. We can potion into Wraith form and then do just a defend. And maybe another defend on top of that, just in case they're multi-attacks. Actually, we can look at this. One other mod that I run is called Bestiary. So we can look at the attack patterns of the enemies and kind of dive deep. So there's a spreadsheet that floats around that's extremely helpful, but sometimes it's also helpful just to have it in the game. This doesn't cover everything that's in the spreadsheet, but certainly helps. So you can see pretty useful stuff. Cannot swoop on turn 1, so you'll never be getting the big attack on turn 1 from the birds. When flying, has a 50-20-30 split between peck, swoop, claw. Peck cannot be used 3 times in a row. Swoop and claw cannot be used twice in a row. So we just saw peck, right? So they can be doing the multi-attack, and then, yeah, most likely doing the multi-attack, but we don't really know. 50-20-30 odds. We could be being hit for quite a lot. So, things to keep in mind. I think that's pretty intuitive when you're playing Slay the Spire, and a lot of that just kind of goes into what I call mental RAM. Like, you just kind of, it makes sense. You see it enough times, but just kind of having it in-game can be really helpful. Did I miss lethal there? I might have missed lethal there. Poison potion is here. There's the acrobatics I was talking about. Yes. Absolutely want an acrobatics plus in this deck. I'm not falling victim to the toxic egg trap where we add in more cards than we need. Acrobatics plus is amazing. We're going into the bronze automaton, which is going to require us to cycle the deck, get things like Wraith Form in play on the appropriate turn, and so on. Aha. The city muggers I was talking about earlier. $47? We're 1 off of killing this guy? Huh. How about that? poison pot? Yeah, if that was the case, then we should have... If I was going to poison pot, then I think we were supposed to go for... No, we couldn't go for the other one. We'd also be one off if we did. Never mind. I think Liquid Memories, in particular, I'm going to value more so than the other ones as we're thinking about going this way. Liquid Memories is going to allow us to pull back Wraith Form if we don't want to play it right away on turn 1, or Predator, or Skewer. It'd be a win condition for us on turn 1 against some fights. The main thing is we need to get Corpse Explosion down if we're going to save our money, which is really important. It means that we cannot play Wraith Form on top of it. We take like 5. I think these mugs twice, then a 50% chance to lunge. After or in place of lunge, use a smoke bomb and then escape. So this is us currently taking 5 damage. I think. Sure. All right. I think we are going to end up using this poison potion, but we'll do it over here. We'll do a little bit of this, and we win. Not so bad. 5 damage. I think that could have gone a lot better, but happy to get our money back. Dodge and Roll Plus scales amazingly well with our kunai. One of my faves. Yes, we'll take it. Love it for a Runic Doom, too. We do not want a second copy of Neutralize. Or Storm of Steel. No, we can do better than this. Probably going to end up being none of these cards, then. So you're thinking Endless Agony Kunai, but we're at the phase of the game where we're trying to remove strikes, and this is kind of like adding in a strike. Endless Agony is going to be drawn and played, but that's the problem. The strikes are only a problem because they have to be drawn and probably not played. But you're thinking Endless Agony goes away. Well, in theory, Endless Agony, on a 24-card deck, we have to cycle around before that would even have an impact. So we're going... what, like 5 to 9, 10 turns deep before this is even going to matter that it says exhaust on it? Ooh, that we would take. That we will take. Backflip Plus. I am thinking that we might need some more cards that say damage on them. I do recognize that. Wraith Form. Wraith Form desperately needs to say plus on it. $26. So this is potentially a lot of damage from Snecko. This can be the 27 or so damage hit. And Snecko is not weakened yet, but we are vulnerable. So, Liquid Memories we could use. I really want to go along this path and not go to this campfire in particular. The fact that we've been leaning on these potions so much is not a great sign. Ooh, it would be amazing. Yeah, it would be amazing if you got Snecko Oil every time. Or like a Snecko Skull every time. I would take that. Or a Lizard Tail. A lot of good things we could get. We talked about Outmaneuver Plus before. I don't really like it, but we do have Acrobatics and Backflip in here and Skewer. I think if we were ever to take an Outmaneuver Plus, this would be the time. We're going to give it a shot. Ooh. No, if Searing Blow comes double upgraded with Molten Egg if pulled from Astrolabe. Wow. That's a good question. I don't know that answer. That's a really good question, though. Okay, we have a lot of good options here. Yeah, that would be... I would start a seeded run or use the console to try to figure that out. That's a great question. The difficult part would be making sure that Searing Blow comes from Astrolabe. I don't know if you can force that. You might just have to roll it a bunch of times. Catalyst Plus is, of course, being taken. So let's just click that button. That one's easy. We can afford Shuriken, that's some strength scaling for us, but we really don't need it with this Catalyst Plus and our Poison package coming online, all of this card draw. I'm leaning more towards sticking to the plan and removing a strike here, probably passing on everything else and then removing another strike at this shop. At this point in the game, the thing that kills us the most is probably these strikes. They have got to go as a top priority. One other thing with the Minty Spire mod, it's going to tell us our card removal cost here in the bottom left. If you happen to be watching and are curious, you can see it every once in a while when we pull up the potion. Yeah, I'm really thinking about the potion because we can buy, say, an Entropic Brew if we wanted to, going into this elite fight, and still afford a strike remove at the next shop. Going into our first elite of Act 2 is always a bit spooky. We do have the means to kill it outright with our Corpse Explosion and Catalyst online. Certain that we need this. Taking a Toxic Egg into the next shop is really tempting. That would allow us to get a card remove and a card purchase if it happens to be a poison card or something like that. So what about buying Terror and Shuriken instead of Catalyst there? I believe that if we had found a Blade Dancer 2, I would have taken them with just the kunai. And I would have been willing to go down that more memey path where we're leaning into the attack-based thing. But without seeing the Blade Dances yet, the Shuriken, although it procs, it's not so free as if we had a Blade Dance in here. Or like as a 2 or 4. That's probably what would have led me down this path in particular. I would have done that. That would have been fun. I agree that the Catalyst Plus route, we've all seen Catalyst Plus runs. You know what it is. $70 damage. It's amazing. This turn is not so hot. So we could cycle into it with Acrobatics, but I would like to draw Catalyst maybe next turn. It's too early. Actually, I mean, we could put that to 9 and be okay. Or we could strike and then do both of those. Do math. 49 minus 3, 46 minus 5. No. 49, 46. This then goes to 5, 15, 31, minus 12. Not nearly enough. Yeah, if it's not enough right now, then we need to roll into something better next turn. Ouch. Okay, we have 18, 29 damage. That is 40. We are 6 short. That is unfortunate. This turn is not good. Ouch. So it turns out that I'm going to go ahead and say that maybe buying a potion for that fight would have been ideal. Nightmare Catalyst, Nightmare Wraith form is here. Do that. Chemex with Skewer is totally viable. A big investment, though, and we can't afford that in a card remove. Also turns on things like Malaise, and basically allows you to buy every single doppelganger that you see. I don't think that any of this allows us to actually go to this elite. Sometimes we do just fine, but then we're going through 2 hard pool fights, so unfortunately our plans have changed. That one bad turn on Book of Stabbing. What I don't like about this is we haven't found a really good damage package yet. You can kind of sense that we're short on poison and stuff. Yeah, go with my gun on that one. I think the strike remove is too important. I want to buy this calculated gamble. It's okay. I think it allows us to do outmaneuver acrobatics into Skewer a lot easier. But it's just more stuff that we're throwing into the deck that I don't like. I will take Poison Pot, hopefully for Bronze Tomato. That's going to allow us to do Catalyst a lot earlier. Hopefully our Nightmare Catalyst a lot earlier. Hakabeko, yes. So, assuming we can draw Skewer on turn 1 with our Bag of Marbles, this could definitely be the thing. Worst case scenario, we have Bag of Marbles, Akabeko on our backstab. Still a ton of damage. Oh no. I mean... it's going to be off. It's not going to be enough. This one is not guaranteed to be attacking us on turn 1. I mean, we have to just kill this, right? And then we hope for the best? It's not the best. Still, for one of the hardest fights in the game, I feel okay about this result. Can't advance Penivity. A footwork. It's really not what I want to be doing. So we have the kunai for deck scaling. We have the Wraith form. We need damage. Footwork is not damage. As much as I love having a footwork in here, the dodge and roll, I mean, who do we take? Having one is so good. It wants to say plus on it, and Wraithform needs to say plus on it right now. So we have too many competing things for the plus. Well, not too many. Everything else does. All right, we'll take one. I can't say no. It's too good. It's just too good. Okay, almost have the pen nib for this guy. That's not enough. So we'd have to not be attacked by the Chosen this turn, or really both of them. We just don't know because of Runic Doom. So good. Yeah. Ruined our pen nib, but we get out of this fight unscathed. Many things that say plus, including a cloak and dagger. Now, this is damage in disguise. It advances our kunai, our pen nib, things you love to see. And we're gonna take it. Even though it's another block card. This is another mystery fight. We have no idea if we're being attacked or not. Please no. Ouch. Because what? 1428? It's just not enough. Currently block for... This is going to be 18 damage. We block for 12. Well, we could cloak and we can block for 13, so we take 5. We'd have to kill over the next 2 turns, and it's looking a bit rough. Okay. I think we can get there with acrobatics coming around. And nib on 9. So our backstab is going to be unbelievable damage turn 1. There is the Blade Dance Plus I was talking about. It's a free kunai proc. That is a pen nib advancement. That's amazing. Does Bestiary show percentage of moves? Yes, it does. We saw that on the birds fight in particular where we looked. It was like a 50, 20, 30 split, it said. Blade Dance. Now, we just got to see how much our backstab is going to do turn 1. I'm hoping for... I was going to say Skewer. I was hoping for Skewer. This is 57 damage turn 1 on backstab. It was Flying Knee. 57 damage. Please don't attack me. Oh, we might have lethal there, actually. Okay. 81 poison off of 3. Or pen nib to at least 6. Clean fight. We'll heal off of that one. Blood Vial is currently at 20 HP healed. It will be 22 for the Bronze Tomato. And we get an Incense Burner for our troubles. Pretty alright. Now we want the Piercing Wail Plus. I'm thinking about this dash. It feels a little late for dash, but it pairs with Kunai, it pairs with Pen Nib, and it is a damaging block card. Since we have so much block scaling right now, a little tough. I have to think about this Incense Burner. I always forget what we need for Hyper Beam. So we go turn 1, it's Summon, turn 2 is Attack, turn 3 is something else, turn 4 is Attack, turn 5 is Buff, and then Hyper Beam. Oh, this is perfect for Hyper Beam, right? Yeah, I think this is actually correct. So Hyper Beam is covered. We're taking one of these. I think we just... Do we really want the Piercing Wail for later on? But let's just take this. It's too good. Footwork. Corpse Explosion is also extremely good, considering that we don't have a lot of poison application right now for Catalyst. Yeah, I think we need this to say 9. Of course, we don't know what the enemies are doing right now. It's okay. These guys have a chance to be using Stasis or a chance to be using Beam right now. A 75% chance of using Stasis until it has been used. Otherwise, 70% chance of using Support Beam, 30% chance of using Beam. Oh. Ooh, wasn't so nice. All right, so this one might not be attacking us. We need to get this one to 54. You are definitely not attacking us. We just need to do 10 here. If we do this, this, this. It's amazing. That's why we kept that poison potion. And we get our poison potion back. You know what they say, if you love something, let it go. Second Wraith form with this Incense Burner. Now we're doing weird things, because Incense Burner, Wraith form, one of my more favorite combos. Double Spooky Ghost form is just a bit silly. Kind of goes with our lack of poison application. Gives us time to set up. What I really don't like is that we have this amazing dex scaling. Like, the intangibility should be secondary. We have 2 Piercing Whales. We have a lot of good block cards in here, and dodge and roll, backflip, cloak and dagger. But it's Wraith form. It's like second Wraith form. It's so good. It feels a bit silly to have taken this footwork. Now, so chance to go to 5 energy here in probably just Coffee Dripper. We don't have a lot of passive healing outside of exactly Blood Vial. Sacred Bark, one of my, let's just say not my favorite boss relic just in general. We've had some bad luck with Sacred Oh My Dog in the past. Choker's good because we're not doing Dex anymore. True. Need to play our Cloak and Dagger and Blade Dance. I do think that this deck uses 5 energy. So with our backflip, acrobatics, Wraith form, and stuff, skewer, we can definitely put it to use. I'm not certain that we need it, but I would like to say that more so if we had a secondary energy relic, just a happy flower or whatever it is. Insert your favorite one of those in here. Sacred Bark. Feel better if we have a potion belt or white bee statue. True, yeah, 5 lets us Nightmare Wraith form on the same turn. So that's important, especially with 2 Wraith forms in here. Yeah, we'll do the Coffee Dripper then. Being an avid coffee fan, I support this decision. Alright, let's take a look at our elites. I don't think we need to be too afraid of elites here with 2 Wraith forms. Probably do not want to mix in a late shop, so we don't want to go to this one, and that's fine. I wasn't looking over there anyway. So here's our early shops that we can think about. I really like this arc in particular because we need to recall, and I'd like to recall early. It does mean that we're going through a ton of hard pull fights before we get here. Yeah, this whole side of the act where I like to go doesn't have a campfire. So this is our only opportunity to do that. So we'd recall, get an upgrade. Arguably with Coffee Dripper, it's less important that we run into the campfires, and we have a decision point there if we don't want to go this way. Incense Burner. It's very nice of you. So sadly, we cannot pair our Pen Nib with our Akabeko this time around. So this is a measly 28 damage for 0. Pathetic. If you happen to not know, the outside Darklings are the only ones that do multi-attacks. So if you're going to be targeting ones or applying strength down effects or anything like that, weak effects, usually you're putting them on the outside ones. About an 8 again. I don't like that. We could have actually done... We could have done Wraith Form Defend to get Pen Nib Akabeko perfectly lined up for our bag of marbles. Perhaps that was more optimal. Maybe. Skewers here again. We'll skip all this stuff. At 31 cards, can be a bit more picky with what we choose to add. Twisted Funnel and Bag of Prep are here, some of my absolute favorites. I'm going to have a really hard time passing on this Twisted Funnel, even though I think, like, Bag of Prep with our amazing turn 1. So good. But how often do we get to take Twisted Funnel? Oh, yeah, I know. We also have 5 energy on turn 1. But I love Twisted Funnel. Yeah, it's artifact removal too. The thing with Twisted Funnel, it's artifact strip, yes, but we have such little poison application that it does get the catalyst started. We've got Noxious Fumes here to treadmill it. No, we can't tunnel. We can't tunnel. What Bag of Prep does is it gets Noxious Fumes in play faster, which is basically our Twisted Funnel. So good. Really wanted Twisted Funnel. I feel like I never get to take it, and I really like it as a relic. Expertise on 5 energy is kind of fun, but no, we'll skip all that. Poor old Orb Walker. With a start like that, does that mean you would take double Orb Walker's event? Because what we could do is we could event farm for Mind Bloom and double Orb Walkers instead of getting an upgrade here. And then we have one more campfire at the end to upgrade our last Wraith form. Yeah, Bag of Snakes, as I call it. Bag of Prep, Ring of the Snake. This is exactly why I don't do Boster-like swaps on the Silent. Getting all those extra cards on turn 1 is just, it's just so important. We're gonna Mind Bloom farm and immediately regret our choices. And then feel great about everything. Not really a contender for upgrade all, since we got this early Toxicate. We'll just take the rare relic. Is Nightmare Blade Dance good? I mean, it's definitely not good, but it's the different kind of good, you know? Oh. Just imagine if we had like ornamental fans, something like that. Or wait, no. Yeah, that's not the... Okay, I thought that was the 18 damage turn for a second. It's not. see if we can get some of these blade dances to advance our pen nib before we get the kill. Oh, we did. We definitely did. The 8 again. Peace Pipe. Kind of almost gives us something else to do at campfires. Maybe in the 4th act if we make it. Piercing Wail, just even more block here that I don't think we really need. Bird. Damage. That's what we need. We don't need more Piercing Wails. We need damage. Let's skip it. Energy Potion, I don't think I'll take either. Certainly not what we were looking for from that event. It's okay. Infinite Intangible? Oh, you're saying like Second Nightmare? That could have been goofy too. Okay, so we'll purposefully not kill these guys, so all of the... Never mind. Not all of the daggers will die this turn. They rolled a bit higher than I had hoped. Just ends the fight. What we could try to do, we could try to save this pen nib with Piercing Wail. We'll just defend, really. And advance our Incense Burner a few turns. We probably get there. But if we can't kill him next turn and we take a bunch of chip damage, that's going to be a little bit sad. The predictions pay out? No. Thank you for reminding me. Like I said at the beginning, I forget about the predictions a lot. It's difficult to both focus on the game, chat, and the predictions. That's where I need a bit of help. Let's do a small greed. Small greed to try to save Pen Nib and Incense Burner. Really only greed if we take damage, right? Yeah, so now if we end up going into Nemesis here, this is going... Well, no. We have another combat before that. Never mind. Still better. War Paint and a Duplication Potion is here. A Duplication Potion on Catalyst. This is our burst that we need to maybe beat the heart. It's going to be tough to hang on to that Duplication Potion that entire time, but I could see myself getting rid of Power Potion for this Duplicate. Cool. That's to be our Sapphire Key. Instead of a Paper Crane, that's fine. So we are looking for, I think just double Orb Walkers at this point. Take 50 Spire Bucks instead. As the kids will say, eat. And it's gone. Good turn, just hunting for our noxious fumes to help remove this poison. $22. It's all good. We got Wraith Form for this next turn, so we don't take any damage. Put Pen Nib on 9. But we don't get that Incense Burner back to 4 though, where I'd like it for Nemesis. We will take another Acrobatics on 5 energy for sure though. Yeah, we're gonna keep hunting for cards at this point. Desperate isn't the right word, but we could use a bit of help in that department. We have Nightmare Blade Dance here. That'd be pretty good. So if that's the case, that's roughly 3 energy accounted for, and then we have maybe 4, 5. Order matters slightly, because this is going to be a 13 damage attack. I'd like to defend now. But we need the kunai procs. It's such a big number, though. All right. It is what it is. Fend last feels bad, man. We're not guaranteed to be attacked there, and we weren't. I actually wish we were. The weak with these blade dances is somewhat worse. We're unfortunately made weak again. Been prepared first there. It's all right. Appended back to 9. Oh, Pocket Watch is awesome. Malaise is also pretty dang amazing. We'll go ahead and take one of those. Maybe helping us against, say, the Bird with Arms or the Time Eater, allowing us to get through those early phases of the fight without too much worry. This is a great fight for us, considering our damage on turn 1 is 57. I mean, all right. That one was for all you guys that have gotten balked by triple jaw worms. We We just took care of them on turn 1, no problem. And the Darklings, back for round 2. The only fight in the game that is both in the easy and hard pool. Yeah, no Pegals this time. But usually. Just not this time. Oh no. Oh, you jerks. Ugh. Alright. Well, it was an amazingly clean act up until that one turn. Perhaps there was another way to go about it, but I was feeling maybe overly confident is the word. Upgrade on second Wraith form is extremely important. But if we were to take away a strike, that would also be very good. Because ultimately we need damage, and we need Nightmare to line up with important cards. I feel like Wraith form, like 6 turns of intangibility with Incense Burner overlapping in there no matter what. I mean, it's tough for me to pass up on that. Man, if only the bag of marbles applied. This is a lot of damage. What we don't have here is a lot of block. So we could let me think about this. We could remove all the artifact on Deca, but it involves really bad pen nib and not taking advantage of our Corpse Explosion poison. Probably better to no, Dupot doesn't kill. I think the Akabeko and pen nib both wear off. That's where all the sauce is coming from right now. So how do we do this? We need to do Backstab, Neutralize, Piercing Wail, Corpse Explosion. Then we apply the poison effect. And it doesn't really matter which one Corpse Explosion actually goes on. Then we're at 3 energy. That allows us to footwork defend if we want to, and then we can skewer last for a single hit of dexterity. It's not a pretty use of our Nib Akabeko, admittedly, and we lose Akawatch value. I do think it's our best play, though. We take a hit on turn 1. Ouch. We could just malaise here for pocket watch value. Probably better. Definitely better. Cool. And then we just win. Just set up our pen nib as much as we can. Give me my attack cards, please. Cool. Good fight. Pretty clean outside that turn one. We will go against the Bird with Arms. We have Malaise in our opening hand. Now, the Bird with Arms cannot hit us with the multi-attack on turn one, but turn two is not guaranteed at all. I don't have too many powers to get into play here, so if I just did Defend Malaise, we get Pocket Watch value. We're just digging for Corpse Explosion at that point so we can kill this cultist. We take minimal damage, if any. Going to -1 there isn't great. Could have done better. Assuming we can get this Corpse Explosion, we'll be just fine. Hey, Panda. Welcome. So, choice to shuffle here or not. Again, if we shuffle with a hand like this, that means we're not seeing these cards for the next few turns, and I'd kind of like to keep our acrobatics around. Maybe we do this. We didn't get the flying knee. I believe this is the multi-attack, right? Yes. This is a very sad turn. Take 14 damage. Now we have to make some decisions. I think we're going to start breaking Pocket Watch value now for these kunai procs. Ultimately, that's how we're going to make it through this fight. We need to increase our block density as well, so maybe we're looking to Nightmare, dodge and roll. Something like that. Predator helps this turn a lot to encourage me to break Pocket Watch. Ouch. This is fine. So there is the Nightmare dodge and roll I was talking about, if I want it. Or we do Nightmare backflip. Also very good. The block density on dodge and roll is exceptionally good. Scales very, very well with our kunai. Yeah, we're just going to do this. May have messed up a pen nib charge in there. Maybe. Oh no. Three stacks of Corpse Explosion on the enemy so far. And really, we could hang out in this first phase and stack up as much dexterity as we'd like. Hoping that 9 is enough with our footwork still not in play. Up maneuver pocket watch is really the dream combo. Not wrong there. We should have just done skewer. Alright, let's go another turn then. I want to take Pocket Watch into the split turn, as well as like a dodge and roll. Not perfect, but it'll do. Hey, Terrence. See you around, my friend. We are in the classic 1 hour fight of your life against the Awakened one here. We didn't end up with a ton of scaling, but we did a Nightmare on a dodge and roll, which should get us through this fight. Okay. We are almost through. Really, if we keep Pocket Watch going with these dodge and rolls and Noxious Fumes, throw down a Catalyst, don't think we can actually lose at this point. I mean, I'm pretty certain we can. Okay, our pen nib is on 9. We'll stop using attacks. You can think about this incense burner. Maybe we can stall out a bit. Probably want this on 4. But just at a glance, I'm not certain that we'll get to 4. Definitely not making it to 4. Alright, well that's not great. Yeah, the purple highlight is from the Minty Spire Quality of Life mod pack. I turned off a few of them. They're definitely not all needed in Minty Spire, but it's got some cool stuff there that's worth checking out. I like it quite a lot. Alright, anything left to smith? I don't really think so. We could smith up this footwork if we wanted to, but I really like the idea of just removing a strike here. And moving on. Toque footwork? Toque footwork was also completely viable, I will admit. I think if we just keep removing stuff, though, just remove both strikes, at least footwork might have a play where strikes just basically do nothing at this point. So even though we could maybe take a potion here, I'm okay with our potions. We got Poison Potion, Duplication Potion, hopefully with our Pocket Watch and 9 cards on turn 1. We're just going to throw down a ton of poison and kill the heart, assuming we make it that far. Okay. Secondary problem, we want to make sure we set up our incense burner on a functional turn for the heart. Our pocket watch on 3. Ouch. Kind of all in, but we have like so many turns of intangibility with our incense burner. I'm assuming we'll get there. What does Pocket Watch do? Whenever you play 3 or fewer cards during your turn, draw 3 additional cards at the start of your next turn, which is what's allowing us to cycle through the deck so fast. So more about playing 3 really good cards per turn and less about anything else. Do wish we had like an Orichalcum here, though. You're welcome, Thunder. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a pet peeve of mine that it's that way in the game, but it's not a pet peeve. Our poison sucks. We need poison. Oh boy. This is going way too slow. Okay, we're taking a small amount of damage here, I think. Yes. Do not get Nightmare Catalyst, but we can do Nightmare Corpse Explosion, and considering how desperate I am for poison at this point, that might just be what we have to do. Yeah, just a few more turns. Yo, Flick, that is huge. That is a lot of channel points, my friend. Flick037, usurping Heart of the Card 78 from the throne. Let me finish this up, and maybe the heart fight, and then I'll get to your usurpation. That's a lot of channel points. Flick, you'll have to tell me if you are in the Discord as well, because I have a title change for you in the Discord if you are there. But I know not everybody is, so certainly no pressure to be there. It's just, if you are there, I'd like to know so I can find you in title. Yes, may your reign be long and your houses tiny. That's what I like to say. Am I going to reset that price to make it more reasonable? Absolutely not. But that is mostly because... Doing this right? I think so. Then we end on 4. Advanced Pendant. Ouch. Okay, we are ending on 4 and taking more burn damage. Jerks. Hooray! Get Vajra for +1 strength. Crippling Cloud Plus is here for some more poison application that we desperately need. Alright, and we have some decisions to make here. So Nightmare is not here. We can dig slightly with Prepared. We can try to line up Nightmare, Catalyst, or we can always double this to just a measly 36. It is difficult for people to compete when it goes higher, but hopefully with the channel point predictions, that kind of remedies itself, if that makes any sense. Or at least that's my hope. There are ways and means to gain channel points outside of just sitting around and lurking, though I appreciate the lurking. Okay, so we're trying to take 3 cards, or excuse me, just play just 3 cards every single turn. That's going to allow us to cycle back around to a potential Nightmare Catalyst. I think this is just not enough if we throw down all of our poison this turn. Goes to... What is that? Just 54? That's missing a lot of damage. So if we don't go to 54 this turn, we do just 6. We're missing out on a ton of damage. I don't necessarily think that we're going 16 turns against the heart, but we are applying an additional 16 on top of that, some more from Noxious Fumes. We have 2 Wraith forms coming around, and there's certainly no guarantee. No, because we can always dupe Catalyst the next time we see it. And it's always going to be better than this. Yeah, we should wait. Sincerely doubt we break Pocket Watch next turn. But maybe. I don't like the idea of drawing Backstab again. Just thinking that when Nightmare comes around, we might just end up Nightmaring Wraith form this turn. Again, if it was here, but it's not. Predator is here, though. So with Predator, we can definitely break our Pocket Watch. It's a matter of if I want to put us on a timer with this Wraith form. If we do, we get quite a lot done, because we get around to Incense Burner again. We're always playing the second Wraith form in that instance. We can play Piercing Wail to try to block the multi-attack if it is this turn. We can also play Acrobatics. We've got a lot of stuff to do this turn. Really love the Crippling Cloud Corpse Explosion, so I'm saying that this is always happening for 4, and then this brings us to 7, so we can actually Predator here. And then we would end up breaking Pocket Watch with Piercing Wail to try to save 15 HP. Oh, and I was supposed to Poison Potion last turn. Mistake. Yeah, I was supposed to do that last turn. Okay, let's say that this is always happening, and this is always happening. Is this always happening? Because if not, we could just Piercing Wail and pass. I'm worried that the next big attack we need... If this is the multi-attack, we need Wraith Form in play. We're never blocking out. I don't think. Yeah, I think we do this. So Piercing Wail would mean... You have to be careful with Beat of Death now. Piercing Wail would mean potentially saving 15 HP. Might matter. But we draw fewer cards and don't accomplish anything else. Let's draw more. Good. That was perfect. So now we do want to hunt for Piercing Wail. So it would be Backflip, Nightmare, Wraith Form. Wraith Form doesn't necessarily just save us outright, though, because we have to deal with the multi-attack. We don't have any Orichalcum or Tungsten Rod. This saves 13 HP now. But gets us a lot farther away from our win condition. Once we get around to Catalyst, we basically just win. And our draw pile is pretty terrible. Alright, let's go for the just win. Okay, no Catalyst yet, but if this is the multi-attack, we do have Piercing Wail in hand. We don't need to apply this Corpse Explosion, we just need to get Catalyst. So this is just neutralize Piercing Wail, defend? Or neutralize Piercing Wail, Predator. Probably better. No, I think we defend. Okay. That should pretty much be the fight. We need to go... We actually need to survive these next few turns. So I think we just don't play cards. Actually, we can Survivor Wraith Form just for fun. Also footwork for fun. But as long as we don't play cards, we don't die. Right? Don't have any more piercing whales. This is at most 16 damage, right? GG? Woo! When has 1 HP ever mattered? Let me ask you that. Never. Whew. That early Wraith form, that was spooky. But we got there in the end. I'm glad we didn't Catalyst super early. I don't think we could have gone another cycle in that attack, or in that fight, and that's exactly what early Catalyst would have required us to do, because it was only stacking to 50-some poison. Although that's pretty good. And we could have added on top of that with the turn 1 Noxious Fumes. If we got there. I do think that there was another way to play that hard fight that maybe got us out of there with more HP, but this comes down to one core principle of Slay the Spire that I don't think is overlooked, but is so important. Card draw. Card draw in all deck builders, whether it be Monster Train, Hearthstone, Slay the Spire, it really doesn't matter. That one unifying feature goes throughout all of them. We passed on the Twisted Funnel for Bag of Preparation. That was incredible. That paid out dividends immediately in all of these fights. Made the Coffee Dripper with just Blood Vial, no big deal. We did take some accessory damage in these fights, but it really worked out. Shield and Spear was great, but leaning into Pocket Watch and 9 cards on turn 1, there was more HP to be saved in the Heart fight, for sure, but chose not to do it just so he could keep drawing. The win condition was there. We knew that the win condition existed within this deck. All we needed to do was draw into it, and eventually we did. And it was just in time. We end up with the 1 HP Dream. All in all, a super clean fight. Run. How much did Blood Vial heal? Blood Vial healed just 40 HP, even though we obtained it on floor 13. So, underwhelming. But it mattered. 40 HP, I mean, it's not nothing. It's nice. It's nice to have, but certainly earns its common relic title. Not that important. Reserved Insect, on the other hand, 454 damage from a relic that we just picked up right away. Amazing swap. Remember, this run started with the 6 max HP for 250 gold, which allowed us to do the Preserved Insect Bag of Marbles thing from our first shop here. And then we just kind of bankrolled that throughout the entire run. This was a core component of the entire run. And unfortunately, I think Kunai ended up being secondary because we got these Wraith forms in there, although it did certainly have a place for Awakened One where we couldn't play Wraith form early and so on. Great run.